Chris, would you like to start us off?
Sure. So Isabella, you started off right where you left off last year, playing pretty well. What have you seen from yourself that's helped you succeed this year?
Well, I think with everything that is going on with COVID and it's just hitting worldwide right now, I think having a positive attitude and having mental toughness, not just in the golf course, but in everything that I'm doing, is just really, it's been like a blessing and an advantage for me because even though sometimes it's hard to face it every day, it's just with that mentality, it's kind of like makes every day a little bit easier and just full of like enjoyment.
Right. And now, last week you guys played in Austin, and you've now played 2 years in a row there. You finished first and second individually both years. What is it about down there that you play so well?
I think it's just like I didn't have any expectations, even though I was playing as individual. Of course, I was playing for Oklahoma State, for Mexico too. So I was playing with no expectations, even though I won last year. I was like, it's fine. Like, it's a course that I like. It's suitable for me. The weather was perfect. It was windy. I love playing in wind conditions. So I was really comfortable playing there. The coaches were there, my teammates too. I mean, it was just really comfortable being there, and I felt really good about it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
Isabella, I guess, how excited are you that you get to play at Carson Creek? Actually, I have a meet there.
Yeah. Well, I think everyone is so excited that we're having a home tournament. It's been like a long time since like the girls have played here. So just the fact that we're able to play here is just, I'm really, really excited to compete and to have all my teammates, my family is here. So I'm super excited about it.
Do you have any expectations for how you want to play?
I think it's not, I mean, for myself, yeah, a little bit, but as Oklahoma State, our coaches, like, they do have expectations at all, like, for us, because we are a team and we have grown so much. So we're a really strong team, and we've been practicing so much out in the golf course and in the golf course too. So I think we're just going to get there and do our best, like always.
And what does it mean to have your family here?
It's amazing. I mean, even though my little brother and my dad couldn't make it, like, they're always with me, but my sister, my mom, I mean, it's just really fun because they're gonna actually get to see what it is to have like a college event, like how is everything, because they used to watch me play whenever I was like before college, and of course my mentality and I mean, it changed because I grew up so much, but I'm really excited for them to see how it is, how I get along with my coaches in the golf course and with my teammates. And of course, like the weather here, they're like kind of worried about, but I'm just like, this is normal. So I'm really, really pumped.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how are they adapting to the weather? Because obviously it's changed a lot in the last 2 weeks. So.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's just I came to Oklahoma State because it's full of adversities. Like, the weather is just like unpredictable, and that's what makes a golf player a golf player, because I think everyone knows how to hit the golf ball, but know really how to play with wind, with cold weather, with extreme conditions. That's what makes you a good player. So I came here because of that, and I told them that. So I was like, please, mom, sister, don't complain about the weather. You know already it's going to be cold. You know it's going to be rainy, so don't you even complain about it, because there's 9 girls on the team. We're not complaining about anything, so do not mention the word it's cold outside. Yeah, it's cold, but we have clothes to wear, so it's fine. So, yeah.
At least it's not Monday or Tuesday when it's supposed to be like 35 or 40 degrees, so it could be worse. So.
Yeah, they're leaving on Monday, so I mean, it's just like they're just gonna be here, and I mean, we're just enjoying it so much.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
How does playing at Carson Creek on a daily basis give you and your teammates an advantage going into this week's tournament?
Yeah, well, it's been definitely interesting because last year the back nine wasn't open because of the flood that happened and stuff. But we have been practicing there so much, and coaches have been like so like persistent with us in the meaning of like having a lot of course strategy, like course management. Sorry about that. And just knowing like where to hit, which spots. I mean, I think we're really comfortable playing here since it's our home course. But like I said, it's just another tournament, and we have to play with the same mentality, with the same expectations, and just that we have that a little advantage that we know like how the greens are rolling, how the wind's going to blow, in which holes are better positioned than others. And so I think we can take advantage of that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
I was going to ask you, Asa, about playing in front of family and crowds and friends and all that. Do you guys notice that when you're playing? And if so, what does that do for you as a golfer?
Well, for me, I love playing in front of people. I love playing just with crowds. And I mean, it's just because I think people that really are passionate about golf, it's really nice that they get to watch us. And I mean, in college, it's just such an amazing level that it's just like almost as the LPG tour. So it's just really, really nice. And for me, like, of course you notice when people are following and stuff, because for me, I'm like, even though I'm focusing on my shot, whenever I have to focus, like after I hit the shot, I'm like, I mean, turning around and I'm like aware also. But I think it's really nice that being in Oklahoma City is like a huge family, so they're going to be able to support us and come and watch us play for sure.
And the other question I had for you was just the start that you're off to the season. It's not just a one event deal down in Texas. You are off to a really, really good start, exactly where you picked up off last year. Did the long off season benefit you in that it helps you concentrate on your game to the point where you are here at this moment right now? I mean, your stats basically have you among the top 5 golfers in the country. Do you think that was beneficial for you?
I mean, definitely it was really hard for me when I came back to Mexico because everything. So in Mexico, like the quarantine is way behind in the United States. So we didn't have any golf courses open. So of course I needed to. At the first it was like, well, I'm gonna sit down, but then I was like, well, if I'm sitting down, there's thousands of players around the world that are doing something about it, even though their golf courses are closed. So my dad and my little brother and me, we came of like imagination and we built some kind of like range in the house. So I mean, we did whatever we can and our best to take advantage of the situation. And as soon as the borders were open, I came back here and I started practicing and working out and everything. But I think I've always been the kind of girl that if we're in off season, like I practice, and if we're in normal season, we also practice too. So it's like the same too.
Isabella, last season you had that wrist injury at the beginning of the year that you were still recovering from. How's your wrist doing right now?
My wrist is doing amazing. Even though we're not able to see our trainers in normal hours, my trainer put me some exercises that I have to do every day with my wrist and to make it stronger, especially in cold weather. It hurts a little bit sometimes, but with those exercises, it helps me to warm up and just makes it better.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
And how about the fact that you finally will get one step closer to having a full team back together with Maya? Yeah. Talk about how she's come along and her development. Obviously, winning a European championship before she got to come back, and now she finally gets to compete in an event with you guys. This roster is coming together again, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's what like coaches and me were talking about. Like this team is gonna be. I mean, it is already so strong. We're still waiting for Maddie to come in, but Maya, I mean, like I don't even have to say anything because everyone knows she's like ranked in the top 10 world ranking. I mean, she's such an amazing player, an experienced player. She just supports so much the team as a golfer and as a person. And so I think it's really good that in the team we have different personalities, but at the end it's every match. So we are really like, we work a lot in mental toughness, and all of us, we have that. We're hard workers all the time. We do a little bit extra that is required, and just having Maya on the team is really good. The other day we were working out and we finally saw everybody there, and because before it was like Angelique couldn't because she needed to get her physical done, and then Maya in quarantine, and then Haley, Nashon, and Leanna quarantine. So I was like, well, and that day everyone was there, and he was so excited to be like, well, finally everyone's here. So we were so pumped, of course.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Does anyone have any other questions for Isabella? Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Isa, and best of luck this week getting to host here. We look forward to watching you play.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
And everybody else, hang tight. I'll get Coach on. He should be joining us any second, but I'll shoot him a text and say that we are ready.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Awesome. Yeah, the situation who I asked her about in that last question, she's the number 8 ranked amateur in the world. And yeah. And basically when the pandemic happened, she didn't know whether she would get to actually compete here in the United States. So the European Championships were going to go on. And she thought, okay, well, I can guarantee that I'm going to get to play in that if I stay here in Sweden. And so she did, and they ended up winning the European Championship. Her is like the captain of the team. And then she shows up and has to go into quarantine, and so ends up not being able to play in the last event. And so anyway, she finally gets to compete, and she will be playing this week. And so the lineup is going to get even that much stronger with her addition. And then in the spring, we get 2 more players who are top 200 in the world will come in for the spring. And so this team could be rather salty when it gets right down to it. So,
hey, Steven, quick question too. The last time OSU played at the Carson Creek was the men's championship, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
The men's that year they hosted the men's and women's.
Yeah.
Well, so it's funny. Obviously, OSU the women didn't get to compete in that. Only an individual did. But, Greg Robertson and his Kent State team just seemed to do just fine.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. That seems like so long ago at this point. It's been a couple of years, but it seems even longer. So
yeah. Oh, it seems forever ago, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Kent State ended up making match play.
Oh, okay.
Which is like basically the Elite 8.
The Elite 8, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah. That was fun. That was a fun event.
Oh, absolutely. It's perfect. He has wasted little time in getting the ship kind of righted back into the right direction. So
yeah, good.
Yeah. There we go. There's Coach coming in right now. All right. Perfect. Well, Coach, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Yep.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for taking a few minutes for us. And I'll probably let you get started and just telling everybody on the call here how excited you guys are to be hosting this week and showing off this beautiful facility to the rest of the country.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity for us to showcase the golf course and also for our team to get a chance to play in town. I mean, this is pretty unusual since we're always traveling all over the place and we never really get a home tournament. So we were happy that we're getting this opportunity. Part of it is we decided to host kind of late because of with COVID and knowing that we weren't going to be able to travel much, and so we put the tournament together later than usual. But I think we're going to have a good field with pretty much all Big 12 teams, and then you got BYU and North Texas. Texas is the only Big 12 school that won't be here, but we'll have a good field, and really excited to see what we can do this week on our home course.
Well, feel free to fire away, guys. Go for it.
Coach, I guess I'll start. First couple tournaments, you guys were missing a couple of key starters. which got some younger girls in there to get some experience. What have you seen from the younger girls that have gotten to come in and replace some of the starters from last year?
Yeah, Rena, our player from Thailand, a freshman from Thailand, has really, she's done a good job this year with her play. I think she finished 15th in the first tournament and 6th in the second tournament. So she's really shown us that she can play at a high level, and we've been happy with what she's been doing. And Angelica, is actually, she surprised us a little bit with her play in qualifying. It's got her in the first couple tournaments. She's going to play as an individual this week, but it's been good to see that we've got some added depth with somebody like her, and so both of them have really done a good job, and so looking forward when we get two more in. With Han coming back, and then our other freshman Maddie from Australia, should have a pretty deep and competitive team moving forward, and so that's what you want. And so qualifying from here on out, when we get those two in there, is going to be pretty competitive.
Right. And last year Maya came in late also, and now she's back again. Now she's back finally. What does adding somebody that good and that talented mean to this team?
Well, obviously her scores are going to help us out, but when you have somebody like that, it helps the others out as well. And knowing that you're going to get some solid play at the top there. When you've got a player of her caliber that's probably going to go out and give you at least a couple rounds under par for each tournament that you play, it helps with her score and with the team score, but also just with what the confidence that the other four are going to play with as well, knowing you've got another solid player like that in the lineup. So it really helps out everybody. In terms of a team, the team score and the confidence that it brings to everybody else.
And one final follow up. Isabella is now in her second year, and she continues to impress everybody. What makes Isabella so good at the game?
I mean, she's just naturally talented, there's really not a weakness in any part of her game. But she drives the ball extremely well, and she's got plenty of length, and so her ball striking is as good as really you'll see in college golf. And when she gets her putter working, then that's when she starts taking it really low, and that's when she's contending or winning tournaments.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep, you bet. Thank you.
Hey, Coach, you got a quick question. How exciting is it to, get these Cowgirls in front of the OSU fans? They haven't seen them play in person before. So how exciting is it, have them come out and be able to watch them on your home course?
Well, I think they're excited to have this opportunity, and again, we're always on the road, so we don't. We might get one or two people that come out that are OSU fans, to watch us, but to actually be in town and have this opportunity, and hopefully we'll get a number of people to come out and support us. They're excited about it, and Maddie and I are excited to be able to host and have this happen. And so I think what's exciting about it is that we've got a talented young group, and it really will be nice if we get some people to come out to see just how good they really are. And again, everybody in our lineup, we've got one junior, and everybody else will be freshmen and sophomores. And so, so they get a chance to see this group and really get a understanding of, what kind of team we're going to have really for the next 2 to 3 years.
And then right before we started this, Steve and I were talking about you last time you coached here, the NCAA championships, and obviously had a good run with Kent State. So just what's it like coaching on Karsten Creek? Because it's not a course where it's very open. So what's it like? How excited are you to be back coaching on that course?
Yeah, it'll be a little bit different this year because than it was at nationals, because obviously coming in with the Kent State team, we didn't. They had never seen the golf course, so we were doing more coaching in terms of where to hit the tee shots, what to look for around the greens and stuff like that. It'll be different this year because Maddie and I probably are going to take more of the approach of just staying back and letting them play, just because they've played the course so much that if we tried to get in there and get involved too much, we'd just be in the way. And so, we're going to just let them go and do what they've been doing, for how many rounds that they've played here, and they've all played great rounds here in the past. And so they know what to expect. They know what the course setup is going to be, and where pin placements and tees are going to be. So they should be ready. And then it's just a matter of just letting them go.
All right. Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it.
You got it. Thank you.
Hey, Coach, is any of that knowledge they get and extra pressure for your players? Do you feel like there's extra motivation going into this weekend?
Well, I mean, this will be the first time that they've had the chance to play in front of home crowd, I guess you can say. But I think it's more excitement than there is pressure. I think they're ready to go. They've been looking forward to this ever since we told them that we were going to be playing here. And once we get going, it'll just be hopefully they'll be playing golf like they always do out here and just let loose. And that's what our plan is. And that's why we want to stay away as coaches, because they do understand the course. They know what to expect, and we'll just let them play.
Thank you. And then one other question. Obviously, you got 2 tournaments coming up. How can positive results in these tournaments give you guys some momentum going into the spring season?
Yeah, what's great is that, thank goodness for the leadership and Coach Holder and also in the Big 12 for letting us all play this semester, because the more we can compete and the more experience we can give, especially the younger players and really even the older players, the fact that, I mean, we starting this semester, we hadn't had a college golf tournament in 6 months, and because since we got cut short in March, so any amount of play and competition that we can get is going to be valuable. And so, if we can finish off with, a couple strong tournaments, this will be our last team tournament, and then we'll play, the next one will just be an individual tournament. But have some solid results from all of our players. And then again, knowing that we're going to have those 2 coming in a semester, two more solid players, should make for an exciting spring. And so it'd be nice to get it finish on a good note here, and then just really get after it. Come January, February, once we get started in the spring.
Thank you.
Anything else, Coach? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
Coach, kind of bouncing off that question with spring tournaments. Obviously, COVID impacted the traveling part of things. And last year, you guys traveled all over the place, Puerto Rico, and all those fun places that we talked about. What is it? Has it been hard finding tournaments for this year with the pandemic?
Well, I mean, once kind of the middle of the summer hit, and we knew if we were even going to play, we were going to have to stay fairly close and be driving to most tournaments. We started making some calls, and of course that's where we came up with our tournament to try to help out the situation as well. Now the spring's going to be a little bit different because we are going to have to travel a little bit more, just because of weather and the tournaments that are available, and most of them are going to be and down south and in Florida and stuff like that. So we're going to travel a couple times. We've got a tournament in Florida. We've got one in South Carolina, one in Arizona. The rest, we'll still be driving to. We've got, in Houston and Dallas. We've got the conference championship will be back down near Houston. So it's definitely a different look on our schedule. But the good news is we've got a lot of competitive teams around the area who are, we'll be playing against. And so from a competitive standpoint, I don't feel like we're at any disadvantage or, having to change our schedule up, because we've got, all these good teams that are around us that are going to be playing in these tournaments, but it's certainly different, driving everywhere and not, traveling to some of these distant places that we have in the past.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
You bet.
Any last questions, anyone? Well, thanks for joining us, Coach. I really appreciate your time, and best of luck this week.
I appreciate it. And thanks to all of you for taking the time.
All right, guys.
All right. We'll see you. Thanks, Stephen.
Bye.
Bye-bye.